big sigh of relief there, it looked like, from Mal Meninga, because Old Trafford has erupted in the green and gold of Australia. They have been crowned World Cup champions in a display of global rugby league dominance. The Kangaroos 30 to 10-point winners over Samoa. Greg Alexander, Corey Parker and James Graham. Celebrations have begun for the Aussies. They've done the double with the men's and the women's. What an historic moment for the game in a wonderful country. But for Samoa, they can be enormously proud of what they've been able to do in this historic World Cup in reaching a final. Is this the moment Australia have been working towards, they've dreamt about, and they got there, Brandy? This is it. They are the world champions.
I can understand Mal breathing that sigh of relief, because it was, you know, Australia, all expectation was on Australia to win the World Cup, Bonnie. We knew that their final was probably coming a week earlier when they played the Kiwis. The Kiwis were the second best side in the tournament. Australia just got past them. They really hadn't put it together throughout the World Cup in terms of attack. But there was moments tonight, enough moments. There was enough moments for them to win the game. 14-0 at half-time. Scored a try late there. Got out to 30 to 10. Samoa were brave, but just not good enough. Just too many class players in that Australian side.
That's what it comes down to, that word class. You see at the end there, Latrell Mitchell scores a double, Tedesco with a double. They've just got too much class. And for me, what really stood out for me was Australia's defence and their commitment to defence. So early on in that second half, I think Tiny May makes a break down the left-hand side. You've got Liam Martin and Harry Grant coming across in cover defence. That's commitment to the jersey. That's commitment to the zero, which they were where they were at that point. And those are the type of plays in defence which what win you World Cups. And you know, we marvel at the attack, but defensively, the attention to detail. Yes, Samoa got a couple of tries late on, but for me, defensively, Australia really set the tone.
Yeah, 14 points to 0 at half-time, and the Samoans go out the second half and put in a really good performance. They score a couple of tries. You know, we saw there Angus Crichton got 10 in the bin for a wayward elbow, which ended Harris Tavita's night, which was a costly blow to them. I mean, he was their starting number 9, their third strength number 9, and they just were unable to sort of hold through that middle defensively, as Jimmy just touched on. But I thought it was a really, really brave performance from Samoa. I thought they could hold their heads really high. Obviously, getting to the final was an emotional wave that they were on, but the Australians just too good. I thought the Australian second half, they only completed at 50%. So, you know, if you're looking at statistics, which you don't anymore because they'd won the World Cup final, it wasn't their finest half of football, nor did we probably see a full 80-minute performance, but they've done enough. There's too much class, as Brandy touched on. You know, Tedesco, man of the match performance, 2 tries, you know, a stack of run meters once again. They were terrific.
Yeah, Samoa were fantastic as well. You look at their last 2 games that they've played, they've been sensational. And like you touched on, Koza, you know, the Harris Tavita being knocked out. You know, Milford goes into dummy half,
big blow.
Luai's running the show all by himself. Like, you've got to give credit. You've got to give credit to this Samoan team and what they've managed to achieve, and the adversity, and to keep coming back and turning up for 80 minutes. It's pretty incredible what they've done.
Not that it was a game that came down to moments, but there was a couple of moments. And Samoa in the opening 10 minutes of the game were great until Jerome Luai's kick went in goal, and then all of a sudden the game turned. Quick tap, repeat set, Latrell scores the first try. Very similar to the second half, and as Koza said, terrible stuff from the Australians. Like, they completed 1 set from 5. Yeah. So they just made errors coming out of their own end, offering Samoa a chance. Then Cameron Munster came up with a steal. And off the back of the steal, they score a try.
It's very on brand for Munster.
Well, he's just the best in the world.
He really is.
He's a world champion stealer.
A world champion thief.
He is so good at it.
His timing is exquisite. But you're right, we saw stirrings of Samoa, and especially with the Crichton intercept, and we thought, oh, it's game on here. But for Australia, 30 to 10-point winners over Samoa in the World Cup final. Let's go back to Manchester.
James Tedesco, the Aussie captain, is with me. Congratulations, James. You're a world champion.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. Come over here 6-7 weeks ago, this group of blokes, and we brought such a close bond. It's so special representing our country and putting this jersey on. So, yeah, just a really proud moment at the moment.
How did you manage to bond as a team? Because there's been so little international rugby league of late.
Yeah, I know it's killed us. You know, last 3 years there's COVID, not being able to play, you know, for our country. But we just come over here early, formed a close bond on and off the field. We just just got along straight away. So it's important to build that connection from the start, and we just wanted to work hard for each other and show that tonight.
You've had a taste of World Cup Rugby League in the past with your country of heritage, Italy. Very different playing for Australia and a winner.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm Australian. Mum and Dad are born in Australia. I'm born in Australia, so it's very special to put this jersey on, represent my family and friends back home, and I know they're all watching, so shout out to them. And yeah, it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable feeling.
Quite a few stars in the Australian team have emerged that we didn't know in the Northern Hemisphere. People like Josh Addo-Carr, Nathan Cleary, and Addo-Carr was on for a record, and he's been a creator tonight.
Yeah, he was unbelievable all tournament. Joshy, Latrell, Nate, it was a team full of superstars, and we knew we had the individual brilliance, but it was just about bonding as a team, and we got better and better each game, and this is probably our best performance. So yeah, it's a great feeling.
Congratulations, well done, James.
Thank you, cheers.
James Tedesco there. He has been all class in his first campaign as the Australian skipper, and it really suits him down to the ground. Man of the match performance in a World Cup final. And again, just elite stuff from Teddy. 200 metres, 2 tries, 8 tackle busts. We just expect this standard week in, week out, and he delivers. It's just it's this gold standard that only Teddy can do every other week. Anyone else, and we'd be like, my God, make them an immortal immediately.
Yeah, there's plenty of good number ones in the game, but by far, I think Teddy is the best fullback in the world at the moment. I mean, he's in sublime form. You mentioned about the standard he sets. I mean, the bar is set so high with what he's able to deliver week in and week out, whether it's in a blue jersey, the Roosters jersey, or on a World Cup final stage in the Australian jersey. He just delivers, as you said. He understands his game so well. He understands what the team requires, and he is super, super busy, both with and without the ball. He is an incredible player.
You have to remind yourself that this is his first World Cup for Australia too. Italy, the last couple. And we speak glowingly about Teddy week in, week out. Yeah. Like, doesn't matter who he's playing, does the same thing for his side. For the Roosters, as Corey said, New South Wales. And he's done it for Australia throughout this tournament.
He never, ever stops moving.
He takes it upon himself. He will not... He just gets that involved in the game. And that's the difference between Teddy and, as Corey said, a lot of great number ones in the game. But he just imposes himself on the fixture, and he's a big game player. I think he does the same thing in big games.
Yeah, I think that's what impresses me most about James Tedesco. He's got all this competition at him for the world's best fullback. But he keeps on rising above them all. So no matter what Tommy Trbojevic does, he's going to perform better. No matter what Latrell Mitchell does at Sells, he's going to perform better. And it's incredible that he's managed to maintain this level of performance, not just for the past season or the post-game World Cup. We're talking like 3 or 4 years being the best fullback in the game with all this competition behind him. It's incredible what this man's done. It's
great what you just said there before, Von. He just never stops moving. He anticipates every time there's ball in play. Until ball is out of play, then he has a breather. He is such a competitor. I mean, to all the kids out there who play rugby league, take a leaf out of James Tedesco's book in the sense that you just do not stop moving until ball is out of play, and you'll be in there somewhere.
Well, Cozza, as well, you'd appreciate playing with good fullbacks. What a lot of people don't see is the things that don't happen because he is always moving. So he shuts down players by his very presence. So the opposition don't get that opportunity to create a half chance or a full chance or a line break because he's there. And we just don't notice him. We take him for granted. He's a very special player, and he's a pleasure to watch. Even though he's playing for Australia, he's a pleasure to watch for me.
He's ultra competitive, but he's been asked to add this leadership to his qualities, and he's done that at club and for his state and now for his country, and he's added that element to his game, that added responsibility, and he wears it so, so well. All right, let's go back to Old Trafford with the World Cup winning coach.
The Australia coach, Mal Meninga, is with me. Congratulations, Mal, a World Cup winner again.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Yeah, it's one of those games you sit up there and, you know, the first half was, for us, exceptional. I thought we did everything we need to do, and second half we scrambled well defensively. You know, one man down and we scored some points whilst that happened. Just a mark of a great footy team, committed to each other, and yeah, really happy for the boys.
James Tedesco, your captain, a worthy player of the match?
Absolutely, you know. So, I mean, I don't know how many run meetings he got tonight, but he was everywhere. He's an everywhere man, 2 tries. Led the side through the week, you know, really, really well. His talks through the week and the way he trained was exceptional. So, yeah, he was on tonight, and we need him.
It's a team full of stars, Mal, but it's very much a team, isn't it? How have you brought them together with so much or so little international rugby league in the last few years?
Well, that's the mark of the people that they are, you know. So they're really committed to each other. You know, those initial conversations all around the team and humility and respect, being respectful of the jersey, but, you know, our opposition and things like that. And they responded really well, and I just felt that I thought they brought their best game tonight. You know, they had to work really hard. It's a tough tournament, you know, and as the tournament goes on, fatigue starts to kick in. They've had a long year, but they've been rewarded for effort tonight, and you know, it's been a really good way to finish our 2022 season.
Samoa wouldn't go away at 20 points to 6. Did you sense perhaps a comeback, get a bit nervy?
Oh, I'm really confident in this footy team, you know, so. You know, we made a few errors that allowed them back into the game, to be honest with you. But, you know, I was really confident. Defensively, I thought, like, when we were dead 12 men down against, you know, a Samoan side that was throwing everything at us, so I felt that was not the turning point, but, you know, I felt very comfortable after that.
Congratulations, Mal. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Mal Meninga there talking about Australia. They needed to bring their best game, and they needed every ounce of energy just to get on top of Samoa. 30 points, the final score for the Kangaroos. He said absolutely Teddy was their man of the match, and they needed a true captain's knock. For Mal Meninga, what's the future now? World Cup one and done. What does Mal Meninga do with himself now? Yeah,
look, I mean, Mal's been at the helm of the Australian side for 8 years now. Obviously, 3 years hadn't been played through COVID period, but there's no better individual. I've been coached by Mal for Queensland, who's able to bring the team together. Obviously, you don't need a lot of coaching. You just need to be able to bring the guys together, unite them through a period of time, which they've done terrifically. And then, you know, the experience and class and the stars that they have certainly come to the forefront. I mean, there's a lot of experience in that team. There's a lot of big game players. You know, being able to instil the heritage, because we've all worked with Mal here at Fox League. When he walks into the room, he just has that presence about him. So when he walks into a team environment, they're absolutely eating out of the palm of his hands because of what he's been able to do, because of the footsteps that he's done. So as long as Mal wants to coach, I would assume there'd be a role for him in the Australian jersey for sure.
It's funny you say when Mal walks into a room, everyone here at Fox jumps up out of their chair. I'll have mine, Mal. Can I get you a cup of tea? We cannot be more accommodating for our very own immortal Mal Meninga. All right, the Australians are the World Cup champions. Up next, we'll go to Old Trafford for the official presentations. You're watching Fox League.
Well, now we stand by for the presentation of the trophy. Obviously, acknowledgement of the runners-up, Samoa. I know the loss would hurt now, but down the track, surely you look back at a night like this and a ground like this as one of the highlights of your career to have been a part of.
Absolutely, Vossi. And you just think the impact that these men have, these 17 men and the rest of the squad have had on the nation of Samoa, inspiring so many young children to play our great game. Matt Parrish mentioned about how more games are needed for Samoa and what the international calendar looks like for them going forward is crucial for the development of Samoa Rugby League, as so many other nations as well. But tonight, they certainly played their part. They never went away. Perhaps the opening 30 minutes was just enough damage from Australia.
Say, Troy Grant caught between a rock and hard place. I think he wants to hug them all, but they're not all reciprocating. Lovely moment to have families share on this sacred turf right now as well. And there you go. Spencer Lenu says, this little man gets mine. That's a beautiful moment too. Well done, Samoa. Well done indeed. As I said, right at the top of the coverage, didn't win a game at the 2017 World Cup. A draw with Scotland was their best result. And now they're They're runners-up, and you've got to think, next World Cup, 3 years' time in France, this squad...
Stay together, Bossy.
Well, I think the bulk of them do, yeah.
I think they're also a very young squad. If you look down the list that we had of ages of these players, if they can keep developing and crucially keep getting games towards the back end of the year, you know, all about the Samoa, Tonga, that's a must, really. Get them two sides playing one another, absolutely. And that World Cup in 2025, well, it opens up, doesn't it, to rather than the usual 3 suspects, we now start talking about 4 and 5 nations that can genuinely have a chance of taking a title away from these guys in your screen.
So the runner-up medals have been handed out in Australia, already getting in full photo mode. Not indeed. Yes, the Gillaroos and the Kangaroos are world champions on the back of England winning the wheelchair competition, England winning the PDRL. The presentation to the Australian players, Ben Hunt first up, Cameron Murray. What a tournament from the South Sydney captain. Scoring plenty of important tries as well. Latrell Mitchell, a double. Valentine Holmes in the story. Could have been NFL, but had that year away and back in it. Jack Whiten. Defence outstanding. Nathan Cleary now, the first choice Australian halfback. He can add a World Cup medal to 2-time grand final winner. Ethan Campbell-Gillard was there 4 years ago. Pat Carrigan, Cameron Munster has picked up a Samoan souvenir already. Harry Grant. Zayo, one of the boys from the country towns from Dubbo, and there's a lot of people watching in Australia at the moment that are dealing with just horrendous flooding and going through the toughest of times. I don't know whether you've been able to watch live, but our thoughts are with you. Angus Crichton. Daly Cherry Evans as replacement player. You would think last World Cup for Daly, Josh Addo-Carr. And then the remaining members of the Australian squad. Good on you, Josh. I would love to hear the laugh love to hear the laugh around here at Old Trafford. Ruben Cotter. There's Matt Burton, Jeremiah Nene, just 19 years of age. He's got to experience Old Trafford as part of this Australian squad. Campbell Graham had his moments earlier in the tournament against Scotland. His first game. Lindsay Collins even got a try at the World Cup, which was a nice moment for Lindsay, who doesn't get too many. And the Australian captain and man of the match, James Tedesco. And their coach, Mal Meninga, the last through. They've got their individual medals, but it's the World Cup trophy that they want now and have deserved.
Will you walk it over? For you? I'll walk it over to you, yeah?
It's all yours, James. Keep it for another 3 years at the very least. James and the Kangaroos. Here's your champions, the Australian Kangaroos.
Well, the Kangaroos are your World Cup champions, undefeated on English soil right throughout this tournament. The trophy safely in the hands of Captain James Tedesco. You're watching Fox, where today the WBBL has 4 matches live and ad break free on Fox Cricket. Well, what a moment this is for the greatest game of all. The Australian Kangaroos are joined by the World Cup winning Gillaroos and the English wheelchair team, all World Cup champions at Manchester, in one final moment of togetherness. And what a way to say goodbye to our favourite game for this season. This has been an incredible year in many aspects, and just to be able to put a full stop on these wonderful celebrations right here on Foxley is an absolute privilege. Boys, thank you so much for another wonderful year. I know.